Crypto still on edge after Friday's crash. What could crypto be doing next? We're going to be taking a look into Bitcoin, which is the driver of the crypto markets. First things first, and see what's happening in the charts here because we are on the verge of a decision point here, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. We're also going to be taking a look into a few altcoin setups later in this video, which would include AI16Z. Also, let's see here. Always forget DEGEN, right? We're going to be taking a look into DEGEN protocol as well as Cartesi, CTSI, and see what's happening with some of these altcoins here that we haven't talked about for a few days to a few weeks, and see if there are any price target changes, trading pattern changes to note. Gonna be taking a look into some major news as well, and I'll be responding to a few comments. I usually respond to comments on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but today I think we have some interesting news to be looking at as well, so I'm gonna cut that segment in half. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm gonna take a look into some news first, okay? So first is by Cointelegraph. Bitcoin traders fear 102K Bitcoin price dive as gold sets new all-time highs. Yeah, gold is really overbought, especially on the monthly RSI, right? But it's still continuing to go, okay? Now, what I'm seeing here for Bitcoin is let's look at some key points here by this analyst. Bitcoin risk hitting 102K again as support higher up looks increasingly weak. Okay, I do see what this analyst is talking about. I'm going to point that out to you guys in just a second. Analysis suggests the bull market may be at risk as a result. Yes, we are at risk. I'm going to be showing you guys what I'm looking for as a more bullish signal and what it could be a bearish signal here. Gold hits fresh all-time highs when Bitcoin price action left far behind. Yeah, we are kind of left far behind the stock market as well, which we usually have a pretty good correlation with, right? But what's my opinion on the market? I'll give you guys my opinions on the market. I'm still long on Bitcoin. I'm still long on quite a bit of the altcoins here, including AI16Z. So my opinions right now is still bullish, but these are just my opinions and not financial advice, like the entirety of this video, and you guys should do your own research and all that good stuff before forming your own opinions. I do have a few bullish arguments that I think are still intact. I do think that based on what I'm seeing in the technical charts here, in the price action charts here, is still intact. I'll point that out to you guys later in this video, as I've been pointing out to you guys over and over again in my previous videos. All right, next is by You Today. It says, forget Bitcoin 4-year cycle. This market is different. Analyst says, yeah, I've been saying that this 4-year cycle, this bull market has been nothing but straight. I mean, it has not been straightforward at all. If you guys been here since 2021, at least, you guys know what I'm talking about. When things just went straight up and straight down, but this time around, it's been a lot of twists and turns, a lot of fake outs, right? If you guys have been here even since last year, right? Congratulations to you guys, because it has not been a great time to be in crypto. But I mean, I'm still not going to be wavering my conviction here that I still think we're in a bull cycle, and I still think that a significant move to the upside is still in store. Okay, now let's go ahead and see what this person is saying. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna read any further into this because I know what this person is talking about. If you guys want to read more into this news, you guys can. It is in TradingView. If you guys don't have TradingView, I do have a link in the description section below. If you guys sign up using my link, I will get a commission. And thank you very much. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. It's by You Today. Don't feed the Bitcoin bears. Strategy Sailor breaks internet with viral video. Let's watch this video. Okay, so it wasn't actually Michael Saylor. I was actually looking forward to Michael Saylor speaking. That was my first time watching the video with you guys. But yeah, I mean, obviously he is still bullish on the markets. Um, Same with me. I mean, that's all I can say. Let's go ahead and go to the Bitcoin charts here. No. Let's actually go to the comment section here. Okay. Comment section here. I reply to comments every Wednesday, every Saturday. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay. Thanks. Subscribe. Thank you very much. Right on. Good solid TA. Thank you very much. I'm just presenting what I'm seeing here on the charts to you guys. I do have some opinions that I share on my videos, but most of all, I'm just sharing what I'm seeing on the charts, right? Chart patterns, very important to be charting them. Very important to be continuously charting them and know what they mean because they give you a probability, an edge on where the market could be going. And what I'm really looking for is an edge, okay? I'm not looking for 100% certainty because I know it doesn't exist, right? But getting an edge on the market is very important because if you consistently get an edge on the markets, that's how I consistently, or how you can consistently stack up your profits as well. Just like the house in the casinos, right? Even though if the casino has a small edge over you, it compounds, right? It's a long game. All right. Next is by it says, bro, we can't even hold above 10 cents for XCN. Yeah, it's been shaky. Things have been looking shaky. But I still think this bull market is on. But we're gonna take a look into some signals here. Okay. Next one is by 3 cents by Q1 for Onyx coin. Okay, that's very good. I think that's still within the cards for Onyx coin because it's not far away, right? It's a 3x. Okay, I've seen coins that have done 3x's. I've seen coins that have been down, including my own bag, that has been down since March of last year and have come back, right? So 3x is, I think that's possible. Okay, just to put it lightly. All right, next one is by Buddy. It says, "Buddy, keep up the Anchor love." Yes, I will. I will keep you guys updated on Anchor. Thank you very much for the comments. Next one is, I didn't get rid of anything. Just took advantage of the sale and cost averaged. This was the best opportunity to buy and even out for future runs. I think that's a very good mentality, right? I do think that personally, I still do think that this market is on. I have not given up on the markets, obviously, as in the long position as well, right? So I still bought back a lot of the coins, a lot of the leverage positions that got liquidated in on Friday. I just make sure that I'm not over leveraged. So then, when these liquidation events happen, I won't be, and I don't think you guys should too, that you guys cannot come back. I think that would be the worst case scenario, right? Um, the better thing to get out of these liquidation events is to actually be able to come back from it. And I think that's one of the main things to make sure to do is to not get over leveraged so you can actually come back. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the charts. The charts here. This is Bitcoin, right? I've been talking about this weekly time frame, this bearish pattern for quite some time. And why is this still important is because it's still looking indecisive, right? Because it looks like the bears have tried to break down from this twice already. Once on the week of September 22nd, and then of course last week, and has been unsuccessful if I'm just looking at the candle closes because you see the wicks and it wicks back into the pattern. That tells me that the bears actually got faked out. They try to break down from the pattern, but the bulls bought it right back up into the pattern. Now we have about 4 more days left until this weekly candle closes, so it's very important. I think this is going to be a very crucial weekly candle, right? Because if this thing actually ends up closing below the pattern, then this breakdown is very much on. And the price target, the breakdown target, let's just say if it actually breaks down right here, then the breakdown target would be about just short of $80,000. Quite a bit of support in between. Let's see if any of those supports will provide a good bounce. Otherwise, we're gonna see if this breakdown target, if it's gonna get met, right? If this actually closes below this rising wedge pattern, you guys should definitely pay attention to rising wedge patterns because they're bearish patterns. They're the opposite of falling wedges because falling wedges have a higher chance of breaking to the upside. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom into Bitcoin here because this is the driver of the market. What Bitcoin does next is really going to affect the altcoins here. This is the daily time frame. Daily time frame. If Bitcoin continues going down here, the next key support will be about 107K. Okay, that's basically where the daily 200 SMA is at right now. Now, there are some bullish signals here, right? One of which includes if Bitcoin actually makes an equal or lower low here on this daily candle close, then there is a potential, very likely potential bullish divergence here on this RSI. That's basically where you see an equal or lower low on the price action charts, and you see an equal or higher low on the RSI. So that is a possible scenario, right? So that is something that is in the cards as well, right? Let's go ahead and go to a smaller time frame here. Smaller time frame. Let's go ahead and go to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour, there's already bullish divergence, right? On this 4-hour time frame, would this bullish divergence play out? It usually plays out. It has a higher chance of playing out, but it's not 100%. We're all talking about probabilities here, okay? Now, some of you guys may point this out as a head and shoulders pattern, which is a bearish pattern, okay? Would the support to be at about... Now, I think this is a head and shoulders pattern as well, because with the support to be at about 110K, that is very important support for a lot of reasons, because one of which would be that was the previous resistance, right, for last year. And very important for Bitcoin to hold above this. Otherwise, very likely you're going to see more downside here. There's divergence, however, so quite a bit of mixed signals here to be watching out for. And of course, you don't want to see Bitcoin break up below 110K, right? Especially with candle closes. Now let's go ahead and go to a smaller time frame, 2-hour time frame. There is also divergence as well. So let's see if some of these bullish divergence play out, right? Very important for the Bitcoin bulls to actually end up back within the rising wedge pattern. That is that's what I'm looking for at the end of the week. Okay, so let's go ahead and otherwise, if this thing ends up below the pattern, that's not going to be looking good for Bitcoin and of course for the crypto markets. Let's go ahead and go to AI16Z. See what's happening with AI16Z. I am long on AI16Z in a leverage position. I'm looking to take a short-term profit out of my leverage position here. And what I'm seeing here for AI16Z, I'm waiting for my chart to load. Okay, here you go. So I invalidated a few charts here because they've been invalidated, okay? And I talked about a falling wedge pattern here last time. 2 falling wedges, okay? One of which it broke out. This is still valid, okay? It broke out out of here from February. Price target is about $1.70. Why is this price target still valid? Because the price action is technically still above this upward trend line of this falling wedge pattern that was less recent. More recently, it has formed a longer falling wedge pattern here that looks to be invalidated. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you guys here because it did close very close, okay? It did close below this bottom trend line here, and so I'm going to be consistent with charting, okay? That's very close, but I mean, you guys can see that it is below this bottom trend line, so I'm going to go ahead and invalidate this longer falling wedge pattern that's more recent, okay? Now, I talked about this smaller falling wedge pattern here that is still technically valid. Okay, price target for the smaller one would be about 30 cents. Price target for AI16Z. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more, there could be less, a lot of which is going to depend on what happens with Bitcoin. Okay, if Bitcoin starts dumping, these altcoin setups, they're not going to matter very much. Let's go ahead and go to DEGEN, okay? Now I want to show you guys why I'm still bullish on Bitcoin and on crypto markets as a whole. There's a few macro arguments, right? One of which is that the Fed rate cut cycle has just started back in September, okay? And it's looking very likely that we're going to continue getting um, rate cuts from the Fed, okay? And I keep track of the CME Watch tool, and based on the CME Watch tool for October's FOMC meeting, we're still looking at an almost 98% chance of a rate cut. For December, we're still looking at basically 100%. And then next thing is I'm still seeing retail interest coming in. This is the Google Trends for the term Bitcoin, and these are weekly data points, and these data points have been highly correlated with previous bull cycles, right? And we're seeing in the past couple of weeks, despite that Bitcoin drop, right, and the market crash, we're still seeing retail interest coming in. Okay, so that is another thing why I'm bullish about on the macro level. Let's go ahead and go to DEGEN now. Okay, at DEGEN, I've also invalidated a couple of patterns here because they just been dude, it's been crushed by especially that crash on Friday. Okay, and now what I'm seeing here is a falling wedge pattern. A falling wedge pattern, like I said, are bullish patterns that have a higher chance of breaking to the upside. Always gotta mind the downside risk as well because I've seen them break down. And what I'm seeing here is a falling wedge pattern. If it breaks out by this point here, for example, the price target would be about 0.69 cents almost. 0.69 cents for DEGEN. Okay, let's take a look into a smaller time frame here. Smaller time frame, a possible cup and handle scenario could form, right, if DEGEN actually makes all the way back to retest 0.31 cents about, okay? That is a possible scenario. It is not a developed pattern, okay? A lot of it is going to depend on what happens with Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and go to Cartesi, CTSI. CTSI here, weekly time frame. Do a quick recap here. Now this is an amazing chart. I'm gonna wait for the chart to load here. This is an amazing chart because this is a falling wedge pattern on the weekly time frame, huge one. Price target, since it broke out back in August, price target is still about 43 cents. That hasn't changed because the price action is still above this upward trend line. And what's beautiful about this chart is basically Cartesi came all the way back to this upward trend line to retest it, bounced right off of it. So this pattern is still very much valid. Okay, so let's see what could be happening with Cartesi here. Okay, let's take a look into, is there any divergence happening on this weekly time frame? No. Let's go ahead and take a look into a smaller time frame here. Smaller time frame, very much, it's kind of like the DEGEN scenario, because if Cartesi is actually able to make it back to about 7.5 cents here, then you could be looking at a cup and handle scenario. Cup and handles are very common, right? Especially when you see rounded bottoms. Rounded bottoms usually form cup and handles because if you think about it, that is the foundation of the cup, and a smaller rounded bottom, the handle, right? It's still a hypothetical scenario. It's not formed, but this could be a potential scenario. Now, this basically wraps up for today's video. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of Cartesi, DEGEN, or AI16Z, or any other coins in this market by dropping a like, comment, subscribe. I'll pick a request to you for you guys on a daily basis, and I'll see you on the next one.